What is going on, Washington football addicts, Washington football nation? We are here Monday night for a victory dub, a big old fat dub. We did it. We didn't think we could do it, but we did it. We did it. I didn't think we could do it. Not gonna lie. I don't think a lot of people didn't think we could do it, but including us. If you go back and look at the
none of us predicted a win.
If you go back and look at the scoring predictions, which I'll pull up here in a second, but fellas, hey, what a victory, right?
We would have been close if we had flipped the score.
Flip the score. Say what now?
We would have been close if we had flipped the score.
Yeah, perhaps. But let's get the dedication right. First and foremost, this is going to be episode 94. Phil's going to dedicate it to whoever's going to dedicate it to. But quick shout out to the passing of Sam Huff. We didn't really get to talk about that last stream. So,
yes, rest in
before
peace,
that,
Sam Huff.
Yeah.
One of the greatest middle linebackers in the history of professional football. One of the first star middle linebackers in the history of football. And that's a glamour position, right? Everybody, the mic is, he's the captain of the defense. That's what Sam Huff was. So rest in peace, Sam Huff. I did do a proper tribute to him on episode 70.
Yep. Sure did.
So if you want to go back in the archives and check out some of our stuff, bump up those stream numbers.
Yeah. There we
go.
But
rest in peace, Sam Huff. I actually have a former coworker who I still keep in touch with, who's really close with his family, and he hasn't been doing well the past few years. I mean, he's getting up there in age, and this is a guy who, I mean, come on, he was most famous for an NFL films, or sorry, not NFL films, was a CBS News special called "The Violent World of Sam Huff." When someone does a 60-minute video on you and they title it "Your Violent World," that tells you what kind of player he was.
It means he's a baller.
He was. I mean, for a Washington team that didn't have much in the way of defense in the 60s, we were an offensive juggernaut with no defense. But he was a guy who kept us in games. I mean, Sam Huff was it. He was Mike Singletary. He was Ray Lewis. He was one of those guys before those guys existed.
Right.
So, but let's talk about episode 94.
Let's do it. 94.
I had a few choices for this, but I said, you know what? Victory Monday. Let's talk about the current number 94. Bring Daron Payne.
Gang.
What can I say about this dude? First round draft pick. Another one of the Bama boys. Part of that Alabama wall on the inside. And he's been one of our most just solid players. He's only missed one game in his entire career. He hasn't started all of them. In fact, in 2019, he was doing a lot of rotating with Ioannidis and Allen as to who started which game. But in terms of missing games due to injury, he's only missed one game so far. And for a guy who, I find really athletic defensive tackles, and Daron Payne's a really athletic defensive tackle, they tend to get hurt a little bit more than just like big old fat guys who just take up space in the middle. Maybe that's just me. But I think that he's only missed one game in his entire career. It says a lot. Super athletic for such a big man, constantly putting up a wall against the run. Does a lot, in my opinion, to get Jonathan Allen open so Allen can get a lot of those one-on-one opportunities. If teams are forced, you have to double team on the inside. As the center shift towards Allen or they shift towards Payne? They're starting to shift towards Allen more, and you're going to see Payne open up. But that's what he does. He takes up space. He creates activity. He raises hell in the middle to free up other guys. And, I'm not going too much in the stats. I mean, he only has 12 sacks in his career, but he's never been known as a pass rusher anyway. His job is to stuff the run and just cause chaos. And he does a pretty good job of that. And I think we should salute Daron Payne, especially on this Victory Monday.
Sir, we salute you, Daron Payne. This episode is dedicated to you. Although I'm going to gripe about you in just a second here when we talk about some other things later. But no, we love Deron Payne. Episode 94, dedicated to you. I don't know who else we got. Who are some other 94s?
Preston Smith.
Preston Smith, yeah.
Adam Carricker.
Who's a good dude? Nebraska or Wisconsin? One of those red teams.
It was Nebraska.
Nebraska. Okay. We had some choices. All right. Deron Payne. So,
Stubblefield.
49er turned Redskin.
I thought about that one because I really don't think he was nearly as big a bust with us as people like to remember him as.
Right.
Because, look, he was one of the anchors with Big Daddy on that 99 team that almost went to the NFC Championship game. But in terms of career longevity with us so far and impact and future impact that I see him having, Deron Payne was my guy.
Fair enough. That's a good choice. I can't knock that at all. Good choice. So, fellas, Victory Monday. We defeated the Tampa Bay Bucks 29-19 with a surprise performance. If you go back and look at all of the predictions that we made, that the group collective made, we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 3 of the people who chimed in for the collective predictions. Tony Hamilton, our guest from ProTech Sports. If you don't know Tony, go follow him on YouTube. 31-22 Tampa. I had 38-17 Tampa. Chris McDaniel had 35-10 Tampa. Dev had 38-17 Tampa. Phil had 31-16 Tampa. Andy Burrows, our man Andy, had 22-10 Tampa. Greg Delaney, 23-20 Washington. T-Ho had 24-17 Washington. And Cody Jones had 21-20 Washington. So it was a great game. Thomas Millen
was close, bro.
T-Ho was close. He was the closest one. I'm sorry, Shy Guns didn't chime in with his somehow magical score. He always gets close. But yeah, Thomas Millen, thank you for joining. I wish we could play like that the rest of the year. Who was that team? And what did you do with the 2021 Washington football team? Because that is not the team we saw all year.
It's the team that I've been screaming to see all season.
Man.
Right? I want you to hear something and tell me if you've heard this out of my mouth before. You saw a lot more pressure from the linebackers. You saw more blitzing. You saw guys knifing up the middle, collapsing the pocket from the inside. You saw more man coverage, less zone. And when we went in the zone, we had guys like Chase Young dropping back and playing bracket coverage.
Yep.
On a short route.
What's up, T.O.? Thanks for joining us.
T.O.
What up, T.O.? Here's another one. We went 11 for 19 on third down and 2 for 2 on fourth down. We held the ball 39 minutes and 8 seconds.
T.O.P.
Now, here's one that y'all are gonna really love. Okay, so Taylor Heineke threw 32 passes. He scrambled 3 times. That's 35. Sacked 5 times. That's 40 pass plays, right? Now, granted, I've always said you don't want Taylor Heineke throwing 40 passes if you can avoid it. But part of that's because of that time of possession. Realized that we actually had 30 running plays this game. We ran 70 plays, 40 passes, 30 runs. That's a good mixture. And I remember last season, every week, it was like, if we run the ball 30 times, we win the game. And you saw a greater commitment to the run, even though, look, Antonio Gibson, 24 carries, 64 yards. That's a 2.7 yards per carry average. Now, granted, probably would be a little bit higher, but he had a couple of plays where they just blew it up in the backfield 5 yards deep. But let's be real. If you just commit to the run like that, those 1-yard runs become 3-yard runs, that become 5-yard runs. It keeps the chains moving, and it also forces the defense to be honest. Our passing game was more consistent and more effective because we ran the ball. We made an effort to run the ball.
Yeah, I don't need Taylor Heineke passing more than 30 times a game. Tops. If he's passing more than 30 times a game, we're in trouble. Give me 25 to 30 for his passing attempts.
32.
Close enough. When he's slinging more than that, bro, not
He's
necessary.
he's probably thrown that much every game.
No, he's
I
thrown
think
more than that in
he's
a lot of
thrown
games.
more.
I'm saying, I mean, average. Like he's never been below 30. I don't think. Maybe one game ever.
I don't know.
I have to go back
Yeah,
and look.
I wonder what the average throws per game is for quarterbacks. I'm thinking it's going to be close to 30.
I mean,
a little over
NFL?
30 at this point in this day and age. A little over 30.
It's a passing league. Ben Harlow, thanks for joining us, bro. Physical man coverage. Yeah, we saw that. Although once we had the big lead, and I get it, we did see a lot of that soft ass zone defense, which Brady took advantage of, but we didn't allow them to, go all the way down and put points on the board.
The only time they did is on that play, which I watched again. He did grab Fuller's jersey and swim move past him. He did grab his jersey. Fuller wasn't lying.
Right. No, I remember that. Yeah.
He grabbed his jersey.
He did. He certainly did.
And you can see him on the sideline when you watch it again. Like Evans on the sideline, like describing. I grabbed his jersey. He's like,
oh yeah,
he even like motioned what he did to him. He's like, grabbed
it was pretty obvious.
Yeah. Good move, man. Good veteran move, though. You get away with it. It's not, if you're not cheating, you ain't trying, man. Bill Belichick.
That's true. All right, can you guys see this?
I always credit that to Eddie Guerrero, but that's just because I'm a wrestling mark.
Yeah, true.
I like old wrestling.
So for the box score stats, we were talking about it. Let's just go ahead and flash them up on the screen here. You saw Brady's numbers, 220. 23 for 34, 2-2. Those interceptions were very unlike Tom Brady, but hell, they did fantastic for us. Taylor, 26 for 32, 256, averaging 8 and 1 touchdown. Like he was what we needed him to be. We didn't need him to do everything, but he did exactly what I think is the right thing to do to win games. We knew Tampa was a fantastic run defense. We ran the ball, but we did not run the ball for yardage, but I would say we ran it effectively, if that makes sense. When we needed to run it, we did, and we did it well. But holistically, yes, you do the total yardage. I get it. Antonio Gibson made some huge runs, and then he got stuffed a bunch of times, but who cares, right? Clock kept running, and he made the conversions he was supposed to make. Rarely do I think we get stuffed, right?
No, I mean, he got stuffed. Here's the thing. I think he probably would have had, you take away 2 runs, and he has about 10 more yards rushing, because there were two runs where literally somebody was in the backfield as he got the ball. One was on that pitch play. I think he lost like 6 yards on it, because as soon as he caught the pitch, he was being tackled. I mean, they read it. They tried to do the Scott Turner fancy, show jet sweep and then never run it. By the way, anyone else like the design on that reverse to Carter? The end
it was
around?
pretty good. It was a little too bubbly for me. I wish he would have a little more linear, turn it up quicker.
He could have cut. I think if he had to cut that inside, he had some yards.
He did that big floaty loop. Ben Harlow
I
said
like the design
is back.
Play, and I like the design of play. And this is where I give Scott Turner credit. I like his play designs often. I don't like when he calls plays, except this game he called really well. But I don't necessarily. I've always been more critical of his play calling, not so much his play design.
Which I think he kind of gets rooted in his father's concepts, which we are familiar with. I think
I was a fan of his father's concepts. I was. I mean, I think he didn't exactly have stellar. He didn't have a great quarterback in the 90s. He didn't have. He had, outside of Henry Eller for most of the mid 90s. Who else did he have at wide receiver? So I mean, it's kind of similar to what we have now, right now. I think Scott sometimes gets a little too cute.
Yeah,
but I do like some of the wrinkles he brings to the game. I just wish if he called every game like he called this game. I mean, we had more of a power running attack, even out of shotgun. The style of the running was up the middle, up the middle, up the middle.
Right.
You went outside sometimes, but all these runs up the middle, up the middle. And by the way, Antonio Gibson, he wasn't trying to initiate unnecessary contact for the most part. He was trying to do a little wiggle. He'd get a little slide. If you took him down, you took him down from the side, not head on. So a lot of things that I was hoping to see all year, we're seeing coming out of the bye week. So maybe the coaching staff really just had a come to Jesus moment with themselves.
Yeah. Ben Harlow said Sheriff is back. There may have been a strategy to run it more. Perhaps, I mean, we did just get
West was dominant that game, bro.
Wes Schweitzer, who was, you could argue that he had some really, really good play on that one touchdown run. Did you see him just move that pile?
Sheriff Strong, Wes Schweitzer. Oh my God, Wes Schweitzer is a man.
Yeah. Very, very much so. Good.
I mean, look, I sang his praises last year because he's such a throwback. Everybody wants these, these light-footed, mobile linemen. I'm like, no, give me 5 Wes Schweitzers. I will go out here and win 10 games because I'll just keep pounding you with them. Because you're going to have to run into guys like that, and that's not a dude. I don't care who you are. You smash into somebody like Wes Schweitzer, it's going to take your toll.
Man, you wrestle a guy 200. You wrestle a guy over 300 pounds, 65, 70 times, man. That's
and not like a 300 pounds that's very mobile. Yeah. I'm talking about 300 pounds that moves in one direction, and that's through you.
I've always thought that's the same reason why Matt Ioannidis isn't as effective this year, because he's not leaning on somebody the whole game. He's only coming in every so often.
Yeah.
I've always wondered if maybe that's making him less effective. But I mean,
it's possible.
T-Ho says possible. We held Tom to 19 points, and he also says
and one of those
Eddie.
Crap.
Yep, that's right. Will Jackson and Bobby McCain got those picks. I think the Bobby McCain one that Brady threw, that's just so uncharacteristic. I don't see Brady doesn't make those.
McCain has played pretty well the last 2 or 3 games because he's been able to just sit in the center field. Where he gets in trouble is if he has to come and make a tackle.
Yeah.
That's where you end up with a problem. But
small.
I think I've never been on the Jackson thing like everybody else. I've always thought Jackson's all right, man. He's just playing out of position. I haven't seen too many things they throw at him and he just, getting killed. I mean, he might be out of position or something like that, but he's never just getting roasted up. I mean, no more than anyone else. I mean, he's getting roasted up sometimes, but no more than anyone else. That's what I'm saying. I say the same thing about I think this was also your boy, middle linebacker, the guy we just drafted. I think it was his best game.
Jamin Davis. It was.
Yeah, Jamin Davis. I can't.
Oh, by far.
And he's gotten better each of the last 3 games. He's gotten better each of the last 3 games.
Yeah, he has, but he came out of this bye week looking like a completely different player.
He did.
I think maybe that's what he was the speed. There was one play where he came up on Fournette, and Fournette got the first down by like a yard because Davis was coming from the far side of the field. Davis comes from the far side of the field. This could have been 6-7 more yards for Fournette, and then Davis just comes across and just meets him, and he came across so fast. And I said, "That's why we drafted."
He had 1 or 2 people He had 1 or 2 people who caught shallow passes like that and stopped him right as soon as he hit him. And Fournette's a load, man. Holcomb had a couple of solid hits too. Holcomb has been a hard hitter if you think of the last couple of years. He's laid some lumber on some guys a few times, man.
Yeah. Yep. Cody Jones says, "What's up, fellas? Phil nailed Scott Turner's play calling exactly. Don't pump Phil's head up. He's not right often, so you get him this one." But
hold on. I'm not LE, where I rest my laurels of being right twice.
Again, though, at least you're thinking about it though. It's hard.
Love you, Mr. Slugs. Love you.
It's got to be hard to call plays for a quarterback you didn't intend being your starter, and then on top of that, 3-4 linemen in and out of the lineup, and then after that, your second, third receiver out of the lineup, and then you're starting tight end out of the lineup. Now your backup tight ends out of the lineup. So it just makes you wonder how
that's your job.
Works.
That's your freaking job. No sympathy.
But if you practice with all these guys one week, and then on Sunday they all get hurt, some guys aren't used to playing certain positions in certain packages, so it narrows your play calling. So I'm wondering if maybe some of that was happening. I don't know. I know like a lot of people on here has played football. I've had the fortunate ability to play. I played both sides, so I I played backward quarterback, which I never got in at quarterback. So, but I was at least in the little meetings every now and then, and you kind of can tell like some of the stuff that they do is they're not able to run properly because guys aren't. You got Samus Reyes and the the rookie Bates out there instead of your other two tight ends.
Reyes missed some simple blocks too. I was like, oh, dude, that's not what I see in practice. He missed some simple blocks, You
got Dax playing positions.
I mean, come on. That was his first offensive snaps of his career, really.
Yeah.
Of any substance.
Yeah, to all these guys saying that Ron whiffed in free agency, Schweitzer technically was a free agent, right? Or was he a trade?
I don't know. I don't remember.
He was a
Schweitzer, Carter, bringing back your boy at left guard. Also, Leno.
Flowers,
yeah, Leno. All these guys are free agency did bring in that did work out. So I'm not going to say that about Ryan yet.
Ben Harlow says Schweitzer is a monster. I'd like to hear your thoughts on Mr. Carter. Guy's a hidden gem. All right, in 10 seconds, tell me what you think about DeAndre Carter. Phil, go. 10 seconds.
Fantastic returner, nice backup piece, third receiver on offense.
You got Ben's name all over Phil's face there.
I know. Oh, it's just the way the platform is. I wish I
That's okay.
I can't change
look, I got a face for radio and a voice for American Sign Language.
I can't change it. Deb, what do you think about DeAndre Carter?
Fast as fuck, man.
Yeah.
Beast. I like him. Takes a lot of hits on kick return or punt return. Takes a lot of hits.
I like what he's doing. He's getting open. I still feel like Taylor's throwing some lofts out there, but I think that's the way he throws. The ball's perfectly placed. So I appreciated that. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the stats because I think that's good by now. Cody Jones says, anyone else pick us to win? I'm going to be owning this one for the rest of the year. Yeah, we went over the wins and losses in the beginning of the stream, but we had 6 people say no, and then we had 3 say yes. Scores weren't right, but you, Cody, T-Ho, and Greg Delaney all had the Washington football team winning. I even bet against them, and they messed up my parlay. So Tampa, I don't appreciate that, but I do appreciate the win. So I'm okay losing some money if we can win the game.
I don't know if you all heard, but former DC sports media celebrity Chad Dukes placed the largest bet he's ever placed on a football game against Washington. And lost. After the previous week, he placed his biggest bet before that on Dallas beating Denver and lost.
Wow. Yep.
I just thought that was hilarious. I'm like, oh well, there you go, lifelong Titans fan.
Thomas Millen says, honestly, I think that big hit on Brady, I believe on the first drive. Something his dick in the dirt quick. Yeah, it really
dirt quick.
That's how you gotta do it. Like he was pretty shook. His face was red. What did he do to his hand? Ever figure that out yet? Why do you have a big ass cast on his hand?
As someone who played quarterback, I will tell you, if you get hit, you get shook. You got to shake it off, but it always stays in the back of your head, and it makes you have that eye like I need to be a millisecond faster, and it really messes you up because you don't want to get hit, and you're like, shit, I'm gonna miss a read because I get the ball out quicker. Now this is Tom Brady. He's the GOAT, right?
Well, here's the thing. You're right.
Messes with your psyche.
If Brady's first read wasn't open or going to be open in that first read, like he wouldn't go back to it. Immediately look for the dump off.
Yeah. Yep. Ben Harlow says, Jamie learned after that one play. You're talking exactly about that defensive shift the first time around. That's right. And hey, Tony Shivers, welcome to the stream, man. The kicker made all his kicks. Yes. Sly. He did it. It was so refreshing. And it looked really good. Like, that was crazy. I was like, wow, we firing all cylinders. Cody Jones says, don't be sleeping on my boy Bates. He's going to turn some heads. If Scotty figures out he can do everything that Logan does, except for that one play, he tried to do a little bit too much, but we appreciate the effort. He's supposed to be sticky hands. Let's hold on to the ball, John Bates. But no, tremendous effort.
How like he stands out on a football field because he's so big.
Yeah. When the dust settles, I would love to see him and Logan across from each other and be clearly not as good as Gronk and Hernandez, but as a 2.0 version of them. I think they could do it. We definitely don't have the wide receiver talent.
Bates is a natural blocker, and Logan Thomas has become a much better blocker than he was early on. Like he's improved in that.
He almost tricked the game for us, man, fumbling.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I was saying. Yeah. T-Ho says Carter's fantastic, man. He caught that touchdown amazingly. Ben Harlow, yes, fast as fuck. Fast as fuck,
bro. That's what you caught me back in the day. But you know it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's old as fuck.
Let's we had some good stuff, but man, it came at the expense of losing Chase, which is just a bummer, man. It just sucks. There's no other way to put it. It sucks that we lost Chase Young, and now we're down Montez too. So it's gonna be
get Montez back. Though.
We will. But
and I think the one thing that I think this almost forces Del Rio's hand. He now has to get creative with the defense, and you saw the defense opened up more because they had to compensate for not having Sweat. Well, now they got to compensate for not having Chase Young either.
Which
now
means
the defense is going to get a little more exotic.
They have to blitz, which they don't do often because they can't bring pressure without Chase and Montez. So they have to blitz. I think we're going to see Landon some more in inside blitzing. We might see like Cole Holcomb. You have to get creative. You're right. You got to get creators. I mean, there's no other way to, I
mean, look, I love Shaka Toney. I'm very happy with James Smith-Williams, how he's progressed too. And I think that getting them playing time early, it's going to be a little bit of trial by fire, but this is going to make them better in the next couple of years, as backups in a rotation. And we've been rotating guys in a lot more than you would think.
Right.
But I like that because they seem to step up and they were not intimidated by the magnitude of the moment that you are the guys now at defensive end.
Yeah.
You're it.
That's it.
No, by the way, Ben Harlow mentioned Casey Toohill. I'm not a Casey Toohill fan.
Yeah, he had what are you talking about? He had a good game. That's the second time I've seen him play pretty well.
Is a Casey Toohill fan? We don't know who Casey Toohill is outside him being on the roster. He doesn't get to play often.
He seems like a guy that has a pretty high motor because every time he does play, he's always around the ball. He's always around the tackle. So I'm not that hard on Casey Toohill, man. I still wish they put Ioannidis at defensive end, at least some snaps.
Yeah.
But he can play it.
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
I think that you're going to see stuff like that now. You're going to see so much more than what we've seen out of that base defense. Which, by the way, again, Landon Collins, Buffalo nickel, did the job again.
Yeah. Tiho makes a good point. Now, what can we do? Do we have to sign a veteran defensive end? I think you do have to get another defensive end in some way, shape, or form because now you're down two, at least temporarily. The one that I was checking the free agent list earlier, do you go out and get someone like Olivier Vernon?
Yeah.
Who's a seasoned veteran, 30 years old.
Bring back Junior Gillette, bro.
I would too. I would bring back Junior Gillette.
Why not? 100% bring back Junior Gillette, man.
I am not bringing back Junior Gillette to this organization.
He's crazy. I bring back Junior Gillette. Hey, you're not guilty, bro. Not guilty, bro.
No, I'm talking about the fact that all he's done is shit on his organization.
Oh, who cares?
They deserve it, man. Everybody shit on it. I do it every week.
Yeah, but I'm not bringing him back so he can do that and me pay him to do that.
That's true. Ben Harlow says, love the Buffalo nickel. Yeah, Chase being out, it's going to suck. But you know what? Injuries are part of the game. It's November, so depending on his rehab schedule, he might I don't know. Everyone heals differently. AP did it so quickly. Robert did it too fast. Everyone's ACL heals differently, so I'll be interested to see what James Andrews is going to put out, or I know he's not our team doctor anymore, unless he is. And then there's an NFL doc out there on Twitter. I'll be sure to see what he's going to say, but Chase was back out there on crutches, man. It was good stuff. So getting on to the next topic, fellas, let's talk about some good, bad, and ugly. So Dev, give me a good, give me a bad, and give me an ugly, man. What do you got?
The good would be obviously our defense played very well.
Okay.
Well, I take that back. You said the good is Taylor Heineke played very well.
Yeah.
The bad was easy. That was William Jackson's dumbass penalty before halftime. Fucking moron, bro. Like, yeah. I mean, I although I just praised him like 30 minutes ago, I didn't think he played that bad. But he's definitely a moron. That's some stupid shit you brought back from Cincinnati, bro. I can't say that because we do same dumb shit. But that was the bad. The ugly was Tom Brady, man. Fuck him.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Hey, Ben Harlow says, appreciate you guys. Thanks for the good vibes on a victory Monday. Got to go spend some time with the wife. My default second favorite team, the 49ers. Hey, fair enough. 49ers are playing the Rams tonight. Should be a good game.
Favorite team. I want to see OBJ and see what he does.
Yeah, Ben, thanks for joining, bro. We appreciate it. Okay, for those who are listening and watching live, if you want to, please go ahead and put your good, bad, and ugly in the chat. We'll go ahead and display it. So, Phil, give me your good, bad, and ugly.
The good was amazing play calling, sustained drives, ball control, everything we want to see. I have a team that's supposed to have a great defense. The offense complemented it well. The bad was letting that game get close before that final drive, because I was like, no, don't choke this game away now. The ugly was Chase Young's injury.
Yeah.
Period. That I hate seeing that. I got really nasty with a friend of mine who's an Eagles fan, because he tried to walk back, but he was kind of gloating over it. He goes, "Oh, look, Washington beat Tampa Bay. What did it cost them? Everything." And he put up his little Eagles emojis, and I basically told him that he was lower than microbes and sewage.
There's a lot of those memes going around. What did it? We won at what cost? People are, we're not going to make the playoffs. We lost Chase Young. Well, you know what? We could have lost that game and it still would have happened. So that's an irrelevant point. You know what I mean? It really is
stupid.
Yeah. T.O. agrees with Dev on that stupid penalty.
What if we do, though?
What if we do? That's right. We'll be drafting down in the 20s again, and we'll probably have Taylor Heinicke at quarterback. So that's where we'll be if we do. For me,
when all the quarterbacks come out in the draft next year, I think we can get one.
You could get one and stash it. Let Taylor play his last year out, say goodbye, and move on. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
If the goal is for Taylor to bring him on, then what would it matter? He's going to start anyways, right?
Yeah. He'll get picked up and go somewhere else. A lot of football left. We'll see what happens. My good, bad, ugly. I'm going to say my good was the balance on offense. We had 32 passes to 34 runs. Our offense is never that balanced. Never that balanced. And thankfully, I'm not saying it was because we were ahead. It was just balanced. I will say, though, there was a point in time where we were ahead and Scott was still passing the ball way too damn much.
Right.
There was times that we, like, under 5 minutes, you did not need to pass the ball on first and second down. Like, not necessary. Not necessary, dude. Seriously. We were only down by 4 at that point. Not necessary at all. Come on. Right? We were only up by 4 at that point. So you gotta do a little better, Scott. But you know what? That's the good. The balance was great. We said earlier, with 34 rushes, 94 yards, we only averaged 2.8 yards per carry, but there were some effective ass runs in there. You know what I mean? And it was fantastic. The bad for me, I'm going to say, Dev already kind of took my, let me give 2 bads. One, I agree with Dev on William Jackson's face mask on that Mike Evans that reception, because if you notice, that was the last play of the half. They were out of field goal range. That put them 15 yards forward,
right,
and allowed them one last play, because if you make a penalty on a play with no time on, you get 1 free play. So that gave them 3 points, and that could have came back to bite us in the ass, bro. Seriously.
Right in the cheeks.
Yep. Another bad play. We didn't really see it. Is the taunting that after that McCain INT. I get it. We're excited. You picked off the GOAT. You picked off Brady, but you took a 20-yard return and it got negated to a 5-yard return. You just got to be better. Discipline. Just be a little better. And then the ugly for me, of course, like Phil said, Chase's ACL. And Tony Shever says the good, the time-killing drive to ice the game. The bad, the timing of the Dax Mill fumble. The ugly were the headshots by Tampa with no flags. Bro, fantastic points, Tony. Fantastic. That Dax Mill fumble, I almost threw my phone at my television. And it was just unfortunate. You can't go against Levante David head on. Just fall down, dude. Fall down. Yeah. Levante David causes fumbles. That's what he does. You don't do that at a $185 going against a 235, 240-pound linebacker. Come on, man. And the headshots, yeah, that was it. Terry McLaurin who took that shot across the field, and there was no penalty.
I think we see that again. It was a shoulder to chest. It wasn't a headshot.
It was a hell of a hit. But here's the thing: if you ever doubt that Terry McLaurin is not a star in this league.
Oh, you're right, Phil.
Took that hit.
You're so right. Absolutely.
That's what stars do. That's what real men do at wide receiver.
Yeah, you're
Terry
right.
McLaurin is a goddamn man.
Yeah. True story.
True
story. I won't argue with you. I do want to show something real quick that Tony was talking about once I pull it up here. That drive, I mean, if you look on the Washington Twitter, I don't know if you've seen it, but I'll pull it up here in a second. It was the longest drive, like in the history. it really made some really cool points here. I want to make it full screen here. Just a second. Full screen. Here we go. For those out in the audio land, here is the picture. I'm going to go ahead and mute this comment so we get the full thing. 19 plays, 80 yards, 10 minutes and 26 seconds. The 19 plays is the longest in 30 years for this team, and the 10:26 is the longest in the NFL this season. And that was by in part due to running strategic run calling. It was awesome. It was truly awesome. Thing of beauty. Time of possession, just like you said in the beginning, Phil. Time of possession.
I mean, that drive was, I kept looking at it because this is at the point where I'm sitting at my buddy's house on the couch, and we got two TVs up. One's showing the AEW pay-per-view from the night before, and the other one's got Washington game on. And I look over, watch here, look over again, look over, and I realized, I was like, I've been doing this for a long time. This played back and forth. We still have the ball. How do we still have the ball? We don't do this. We don't just march down the field and impose our will on other teams.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I'm like, we still have the ball.
Who is this team, and what did you do with the old team? Tony, thank you for those good back. That was amazing. That was perfect. T-Ho, that's what she got. T-Ho says, the good is our defense and offense improved, and Taylor balled out. The bad is the missed calls. Yep, there were some missed calls. The ugly is Tom Brady throwing away 2 picks in the Chase Young injury. Yep, all valid points. Now, Taylor Heineke should have had 1 interception. The one that, you remember DeAndre Carter caught that tip with that, it was almost like a slant or a that should have been an interception. That was in that guy's hands, but it didn't. So you know what? Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, not in football. It wasn't a pick. Whatever. It should have been a pick, but it wasn't. Tio also says that pace mac penalty on Will Jackson also bad. Yep, just like Dev said. Cody Jones, let's hear his. He said the good was our team actually playing complimentary football for once. The bad was Chase getting hurt, and the ugly was that stupid fucking face mask that Tom Brady makes when he's crying. Yes, it's bad. It's not as bad as Eli's poop face. That weird little smug. Yeah, it's just like he's there, just sucking down there. I hate Eli Manning. I'm sorry.
If he gets in the Hall of Fame,
we should protest that. T.O. said the headshot on J.D. McKissick. Yeah, I think that one was arguable. J.D. had a great game, though. Very good game for J.D. McKissick. Just doing what he needs to do. That's why we brought him in. All right, let's talk about
the best slot receiver on this team.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that last year, too. I think so. All right, game balls. Phil. Give me a game ball for offense and a game ball for defense. Go, you up first.
Game ball. I'm going to go game ball on defense. Jack Del Rio gets a game ball.
Okay, that's first.
Because that was a team effort on defense.
Okay.
He's down 1 first-round defensive end pass rushing force. He loses another first-round defensive end pass rushing force, and we still kept Tampa Bay clamped down.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's one. The game ball on offense. God, after what I predicted, this is going to be so amazing. I'm going to go Taylor Heineke.
Oh, Phil.
Because he played a smarter game. He did some running around, did some free roaming. I almost gave this, by the way. I almost gave this to Scott Turner by not giving 2 coaches game balls in one week.
No. Think about it also. Think about what you said also, though. Not only is what you're saying right, but all that stuff about Taylor Heineke only won because Devin White didn't play, or because they hadn't
And he
scouted
didn't
him.
win. He didn't win when Devin White was out. He did win when Devin White was in.
Right.
Yeah.
And they talking about, they didn't scout him, they didn't know him. Now they got film on him. And you can say, hey, well, they didn't have Brown and Gronkowski. That's cool. We didn't have a whole lot of people.
Well, put it this way. The reason why I give it to Heineke is that Heineke gave us the best of what we want. He didn't play out of himself and out of his limitations, but he played to his strengths both in the pocket and getting out of the pocket. And he didn't make stupid throws like he's done some previous games where he was so off on the back shoulder. Most of his passes were not high. He was better about not throwing the ball high, but he also had better passing lanes, and he got out the pocket a little more. And he didn't have to try to throw over someone who's 6'6", which I think he has problems with. And maybe just his delivery. He doesn't have a very overhand delivery. He has a very, three-quarter, not quite sidearm, but it's like a three-quarter delivery.
And he whips it. He whips it.
He whips it. And I think that's why he lofts it a lot. And he ends up throwing it high. If he had more of an overhand delivery, he could go right over the lineman.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to give it to Heineke just because he played the game that I want him to play every week in terms of when he takes the risky chances, when he plays it safe, all that. So
okay, only one game ball. No one for defense.
I said Jack Del Rio.
I'm sorry, Jack Del Rio. Yeah, you're right. You give me coach. All right, Dev. Wait, before we go to Dev, let's read T-Ho's. T-Ho says, give the game ball to Taylor Heineke. He really bought out offense, and defense is Jack Del Rio. There you go, Phil. T-Ho is right in line. Dev,
I've got a lot of people I got a lot of people behind me this week. I'm glad that I'm glad that we're communicating here.
Yeah. Who you got, Dev?
We're on a wavelength.
Give me a game ball for offense and defense. You're muted, Dev. You're muted.
I'm gonna try to go a little different. I'm gonna go Wes Schweitzer.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Game ball. Man, we lost Sheriff early on, and didn't miss a beat. And that's one of the things I wonder why we didn't trade that Sheriff at the last of his contract. So we'll see what this is gonna be in the offseason, because I told y'all before the year started. I think Schweitzer's a starter, man. I think he's a good enough player to be a starter.
Him and Cosme,
right?
It's a good future.
My defensive game ball goes to obviously Jonathan Allen.
Yeah,
baller. That man. If that man doesn't make All Pro first or second team, wow.
Yeah,
he's a problem, man.
He's definitely earned his extension.
Right,
balling out. Numbers are his like metrics for PFF are off the chart, man. He's just seems to be everywhere, a lot more than what Deron Payne is doing when you try to compare the two side by side. Jonathan Allen seems to be
consistent. He's more the hard worker type versus, not that Payne isn't,
right,
but he's more on the hard work gets him to where he needs to go versus the natural talent in the spectrum the Payne is probably on,
Yep.
Which is why I really thought maybe Ioannidis and Allen would start.
You know what's funny? But I don't know if we've called Ioannidis' name once this year. Isn't that crazy? I don't think he
has a couple of sacks, like 3 sacks.
He does, but I just don't think he's the same guy after his injuries, man. We'll see.
He's not getting a lot of clock.
Yeah, him and Tim Settle, they don't get a whole lot of burn. They don't. They're two talented players, but I think Tim Settle's gone. People are trying to snatch him up. Someone's going to want to get him.
Settle's going to go somewhere and start, man.
He will. Okay. Game balls for me. I'm going to go a little different route. I'm going to go and I don't want to. You're right. I don't think we should give it to the same people. So I'm going to say Joey Sly, just because. Why not? Right? Why not?
Yeah.
He made all his extra points, which is all we ask for. Do your job, and he made all his field goals. Those 3 field goals to start the game. Holy crap!
Including 56 yards. What was the first one? 50?
So clutch. I'd have to go look, man. I don't know all the scoring plays, and then another game ball I'm gonna get might not be the most popular opinion, but you can at me if you want. You see my handle right there. I'm gonna give it to Ron Rivera. He's been taking a lot of flack lately, rightfully so, right? Rightfully so. He deserves all the flack. For all
I
the
ain't giving him
choices,
shit till he's got to go beat Cam, dog.
That's
If
fine.
he go beat Cam, then I'll get on his bandwagon again.
Cam's not starting.
Hey, no, yes he is. He's already taking first snap, start snaps, man. To read the.
Hey, Cam scored 2 touchdowns.
2.0 right now.
He scored 2 touchdowns. We'll see how they use him.
2 touchdowns. But
Darnold's
hey,
injured. PJ Walker is
good.
Was the guy, but we'll see.
They said he's taking first team snaps right now. He's taking like 90% of snaps, and the goal is to have him ready by this week or next.
Okay.
So man, he might. If we lose to Carolina, I'm cool with that. But if we lose to Carolina because Heineke plays bad and Cam plays good, I'm never gonna let that die, man. I'm never gonna let that die.
Yeah. Well, Joey Sly hit a 46-yarder, a 28-yarder, a 29-yarder, and he made all his extra points. So that's what I'm saying. He gets my game ball.
How did you feel about the last touchdown not going for the extra point?
No, so that was my caveat to Ron getting a game ball. So Ron gets the game ball for he just everything that you said, Dev. We were down so many players. Everything that you said, Phil. The game plan, the creativity, the balance. Ron gets the game ball for that for me from that side of the house, just because, right? And to put the icing on the cake was the final call for it on fourth down. First, I was like, wait, go for it. I mean, just kick it, get the points. And I was like, wait a minute. And then the announcer said, I'm like, but Ron had already made the call. He had already sent Taylor back out there. Go for it on 4th and goal, either because you got to go 99 yards to score with 30 seconds left, or you score a touchdown. I mean, why not? Take the gamble, paid off. Phenomenal call that no one's really even talking about. I mean, we're talking about it, but no one's talking about that. That was
reason we're talking about it is because we were so terrified of getting one blocked again.
Yes,
that's the only reason we were. I mean, common sense was kick the fucking extra point, man.
Actually, analytics said go for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Basically, go for it. Yeah.
Yep. Cody Jones says, "Yeah, Dev. John Allen is a bad man." That's right. Yep. And T-Hill's saying facts, Dev. Marcus Edelin, thank you for joining us from Sports Group 2, I think. William Jackson starting to play better, had his knee, had him starting slow. Yep. And also being in the wrong scheme.
Playing a lot of man yesterday.
Yeah, playing a lot of zone when you're a man corner. It's the opposite of what we did with Josh Norman. We put Josh Norman in man, and he's a zone corner. So play to the player's strengths. That's all you got to do. T.O. says next week we have to beat the Panthers because we have to prove last night's game wasn't a fluke. Next week's game is going to be huge. So please tune in Thursday night as we preview that game. And it's probably going to have a lot of Cam Newton talk. Speaking of Cam, Cody Jones says Cam ran for 6 inches, passed for 7.5, and we are going to abuse him. He also scored twice. So we shall see. It's going to be interesting what happens with Cam Newton. I'm very excited about next week. I'm interested to see I haven't even checked on the early lines, what Vegas thinks, but I think as the week goes on and we see what's happening with Cam at practice, it'll tell us a lot more. So shout outs, Dev.
Go ahead and start. Man, if Cam goes off on us. It's gonna be the last show I'm gonna be allowed to do because whoever FCC, whoever controls the airwaves and shit, they're gonna ban me, dog. I'm gonna have a complete nigga moment if Cam Newton goes off on us, bro, and wins. He can go off and lose, cool. If he goes off and wins, they can win and he not go off on cool. But if he goes off and it's because of Cam Newton.
I'm with you, especially after beating Tampa, and especially after he made comments that we don't need him. We got our guy.
They had like 3 chances to get Cam.
They did.
I wonder if they talked and I wonder which one would have said no.
Or Ron was probably just
no, I can't be mad.
Ron was probably just like, listen, we're not in a place right now where we can do that. I know I love you, but just probably just not in a place right now where I can bring you on. Let's talk in the off season. I probably had some conversation like that, right? Who knows?
I mean, there's no indication that one guy does not like the other.
Yeah, I still think Belichick re-signed him before free agency hit because Washington was going to get him. I still think he was their plan A.
Probably.
And Belichick knew that and grabbed him and signed him up before he hit free agency.
See, I don't think so. That's
I don't understand why he picked him up before free agency. Then obviously, if Washington didn't want him, who else fucking wanted him? Because he was sitting at home, nobody grabbed him.
And Marcus, we'll be on 8:30 p.m. Thursday on the live stream. You'll see we put the preview in our group. I'll put the preview out tomorrow.
It's almost as asinine as Green Bay getting mad about OBJ going to the Rams or Seattle, but I'm like, he was on waivers. Y'all could have got him for $4 million from waivers and an guaranteed contract for 2 years. And now you're mad that he went to the Rams. You could have took him. You could have stole OBJ. I don't know.
He wanted to go to a contender. We are not a contender.
He was on waivers, bro. I'm talking about like the Giants. I'm talking about like the Green Bay Packers and Seattle. They're mad because he went to the Rams when they could have grabbed him. They could have grabbed him.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's always talking to his agent. Hey, we want to get your guy. I don't want to play. I'll just be inactive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not coming to play for your team. I'd rather be inactive than come play for your team. I'm sure that talk happens.
I guess you would flip me for a 6th-round pick in the offseason then, buddy. Thanks.
Yeah, but he has to agree to come to you. You know what I'm saying?
No, on waivers, we could have yanked him. He could have just been mad like Trent Williams was and sitting at home. I'm like, cool, 6th-round pick for nothing.
We don't need that drama.
No. On waivers, no one owns you. You're a free agent.
No. You're on waivers. It goes by the worst record in the league. They can claim you.
Yes, but it doesn't mean you have to sign.
Yeah.
You don't have to sign. You put yourself on waivers because you want to be on a team. I mean, but I'm sure there's some stipulation like, well, if you're not going to sign with the team that wants you, then you need to just be.
Remember when Deion did that when he left us? When we put him on waivers, and then the Chargers picked him up, we got mad.
You know what? Eli Manning says, "I'm not playing for you, San Diego. I'm going to New York." So forget Eli Manning, man. Hey, Dev, still waiting for your shout-outs, man. Do you have any shout-outs?
Oh, I got a hedgehog. I want to name him Chronic, as in Chronic the Hedgehog. Okay. Let me do it. So
that's
she's naming him after some animal on TV.
Shout out to the Hedgehog. Maybe that can be our mascot, the Washington Hedgehogs.
Dude, that'd be dope. I want some weird animal, like a bat or some shit, like Washington Bats. I want to sound like a fucking AAA team. One of those kind of names, like the River Frogs, some ignorant shit like that.
I'm so
afraid we're going to end up with some AAA baseball.
I definitely want a AAA baseball name, honestly. That's why I said werewolves, man. It's perfect, man. I don't know why everybody hates the werewolves, but werewolves is perfect.
Wolves. Cody Jones says, my shout out goes to the announcers who were so in love with Tommy Brady. Fuck those guys. You know what? They were also up Taylor Heineke's ass too. They loved some Taylor Heineke that game.
Everybody
He's doing so well.
It's funny how it's funny because there's only one announcer who's a former Washington player who you can tell still has affinity for Washington, and that's Joe Theismann. The rest of them really try to act like, oh, I have no affinity for this franchise whatsoever. Like Mark Schlereth. Like, dude, you won 2 Super Bowl rings with this franchise. You have 4 total. 2 of them came here. Act like it a little bit. If Troy Aikman could go out here and just be the biggest Cowboys homer in the history of mankind, you come on, give us something. Right. Remind people that people used to like us.
Who's the other lineman? Same thing. Mark May. Same thing, man. Yeah, give him a little love.
Mark May's bitter because he lost his job while he was here to Mark Schlereth.
Yeah.
And he lost his job to Mark Schlereth, and or you could say either him or Raleigh McKenzie, because those two used to alternate a lot. But yeah, Mark May is he's got some kind of bitter feelings towards this franchise because he didn't get to end his career here.
Yeah,
he ended it with the Cardinals playing for head coach Joe Bugle.
Former great Redskin, great. Hey, Marcus Edlin says he can sit out because the Browns are paying part of the salary. That's true. So there's no need for him to play. Yes, Brian Mitchell does represent Washington, Marcus Edlin.
But he's not a national broadcast.
He's not. He's local, so he kind of has to. You're right. Not a lot of national guys. It's hit or miss. Personally, I hate it when they show fear. I like when they bash, like Tony Romo's bashed the Cowboys a few times on some broadcasts, which I kind of like. But all right, Phil, who you got for shout outs, man?
Shout out to Texas Trays. I got to try those chips out of Boyce, Virginia. Made my game day experience so much better. I will never eat Tostitos again. If I want tortilla chips. They're like twice as thick. Like you can put a ton of salsa on these things and it will not break. Texas Trays. Get them for your next tailgate. Get them for your next football Sunday party. Get them for yourself. They're delicious. I highly recommend the Chipotle flavor.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody in the group chat tonight, or in the podcast chat tonight, because these are the guys who really keep the group going. A lot of OGs in here and some newer faces too. that really stir a lot of content. And for those who spent Saturday and Sunday morning talking about how they just needed to take a mental and emotional break from this team, and how Ron needs to be fired, and how Chase Young, or how Montez Sweat being hurt, well, that's not really much of a loss. And probably would say the same about Chase if we hadn't won this game. I hope this win brings you back into a functional state of mind. I really do. I hope so. I hope that you woke up from whatever funk of pain and ignorance you're laying in, and I hope that you can enjoy at least the next couple of weeks knowing that what we saw on Sunday is possible.
Fair enough. A couple shout outs for me. First and foremost, thank you for everyone to join in tonight. You guys are awesome. You guys really keeps going. My second shout out goes to a Mr. Rich Rudolph. He's in our Facebook group, Washington Football Addicts. He sold me tickets to the Cowboys game coming up in December, which Phil and I are going to, and I'm trying to find another person for our third for my family. But tonight he hits me up. So we already have a red zone parking pass. I also have an orange lot pass for sale if anybody wants it. He gives me, out of the blue, Phil, our Washington Gold member cards for the game. So the Gold member is something new they're doing this year. You get discounts on food, you get discounts on the team store, and you get better lines for food, and you get better lines getting into the stadium, all which are going to be very important come that Dallas game because it's going to be a madhouse. So, Rich Rudolph, I salute you, bro. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that.
Coming through in the clutch, man.
So, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And, shout out to all the fans of this team. It's been hell. It really has. We've been, like Phil was saying, it's been so good. It's been so bad. We stick through it thick and thin. It's been rough. It really has been rough. So, hey, wins like that, if you notice, winning cures everything. We're happy. No one's talking smack about the team. No one's complaining. Let's just be more consistent. I think that's all we need to do. Let's be consistent. And Cody says, just remember, if you're going to be a Gold member, you have to fight Austin Powers. That is correct. That is a good one. T.O. says, thanks and keep up the good work. Watch Football Addicts. Thank you, T.O. You're always here. Thank you very much.
So y'all watch the Eternals yet, man?
No, not yet. I got a Happy Meal toy for my kids though.
So you ain't watched the Harder They Fall yet either on Netflix? I did watch Boogie yesterday, Steve.
It's in the queue. I saw it on HBO.
Not good, bro.
Not good. No.
I mean, the story is good, man. It's like a hood story with an Asian dude in it, man. But it's barely any basketball really in it. It's like predictable. It's like derivative. It's like Hoop Dreams with Asians. It's like he got game with Asians or some shit.
Like loving basketball with Asians, but that's what I was hoping for because Loving Basketball is a good movie.
Oh no, man! And the motherfucker dunks like once or twice. It's like weird. It's not bad. It's not a bad movie at all. But
it's not it's not Jeremy Lin's biography. Is what you're saying?
No. It's a hood nigga movie. It's like Asians in it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm still gonna watch it. I'll let you know.
If you want to laugh though, watch L.A. Ninja. That's fucking hilarious. I think it's called L.A. Ninja. It's new, but it looks old.
Nice. All right. Well, we appreciate.
One more shout out. Shout out to Rod.
Dude.
You have taken some of the curse off this team and you took it to Las Vegas with you. It has not been a good few weeks for you.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to the Wizards. According to Tiho, balled out and beat the Pelicans 105-100.
Oh shit! I gotta see my Knicks losing.
Still in first place in the East.
Oh, we're losing. We're losing by 1, 79-80.
That should put us at 9-3, if I'm not mistaken. We're doing well. Hail to the Wizards.
We're losing by 1.
Hail to the Wizards. All right. On that note, we'll see you guys Thursday evening. Please tune in, and if you like what we're doing, like the channel on YouTube. If you want to, please subscribe. We would highly appreciate it if you did.
Absolutely.
As we continue to grow this channel. So, yep, hail to the Wizards, 10-3 now. Hail to this football team. We love all you guys, and we'll see you on Thursday. Y'all stay up. Enjoy the win. Next week, we got Carolina. It's going to be tough, but soak in this W. Walk around with your chest out a little bit. Do your little walk, rolling into work, walk a little bit taller, smile a little bit more, and enjoy the win because, hey, you never know we're going to get the next one. On that note, signing off. As always, peace and hail.